Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about filling your cup up. And by that I mean filling your days with joyful activities. I started to touch on this in last week's video about gratitude and making sure that you have joyful activities during your days so that you can be grateful for them. But I want to take you back to the last couple of years when I didn't have that gratitude and I didn't have those joyful activities. I was at a stage in my life where everything had started to feel like a job. It started to feel like stuff that had to be done rather than I was wanting to be doing it. And it's not to say that I was ungrateful for the things that I had. I was so lucky to have family around me, to have the beach, to have walks, to do things. But I was really in a stage of discontent with my life and what I was doing in my life. And it was so much harder to be grateful and to find joy in the activities because I was so unhappy. It got to the stage where everything felt like a job. I would go over and visit my family once a week and see my dog, whom I love, and I would feel like I had to go each week at a specific time for a specific amount of time, and I didn't find any joy in that anymore. However, so much has changed since then, and I'm now being able to find joy in the activities I'm doing and fill my day up with more joyful activities so that I really do enjoy every day. So I've already talked about filling your cup up, and that is my favorite analogy for joyful activities. You start the day with a full cup, and slowly throughout the day, your cup starts to drain. And you have to do things to fill that cup back up, otherwise you're on empty. One thing I found really interesting is that decision making drains your cup much faster. So if you're in a profession where you make a lot of decisions, or even in your daily life you do, such as being a mum, and you've got to constantly have that alert factor and that decision making on all the time. For me as a teacher, I found that all the time, it actually drains your cup a lot faster. So you have to put more effort into filling it back up and getting it up faster. That's not to say that everyone in those positions has that same experience, because I think that it's very based on your own personal experience and the way that you deal with things. I definitely take things a lot to heart. So as a teacher, if there was a kid who was really struggling with something and really wasn't getting it, I took that really personally, and I felt like it was my job to make sure that every single kid was able to reach their maximum potential. So I want to talk about this decision making in another video and go a little bit more in depth in it, because I have found some really great ways that work for me to make sure that I'm minimizing this decision making, and a lot of that is through routines, and I'd love to share how I use them and what sort of routines I have to make my life a lot easier. And I want to add not just easier, but more fulfilling, because as a uni student again, and currently not working, it's funny that I have a lot of time during the day, but I'm not necessarily feeling that fulfillment. I am now more so, that because I'm doing the YouTube channel and because I'm getting a lot more information and I'm sort of back in that teaching mode, which I really enjoy. But I think that it's a really important thing to make sure that even if you're just home alone studying, you seem to not have to do very much, it's important to get that fulfilling feeling. And I do that through routines. Having that routine means that I feel like I've ticked off my to-do list for the day and I have achieved something. So it's important to always be filling your cup up. And that can be done daily, weekly, monthly, whatever frequency. But it's important that you make sure that you are choosing activities and blocking out time to make sure that you're filling that cup up. At the moment, when we're not in our own apartment and we're sharing a space with my family, it's a little bit different because we have different opportunities here. So I wanted to share some of the things that we are currently doing here that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do in Brisbane. No matter what your circumstances, you can incorporate different things. So it's important to not let change or a difference in circumstances stop you from doing the things that make you feel happy. So instead of telling you, I thought I would show you. So This is the book that I am currently reading, and at home in Gladstone, my favourite place is to read under this tree, filtering out the light, and it's super relaxing.
He's got his lead.
Seriously, the cutest thing. So while Marty and I have been up in Gladstone, we've been having morning tea together, which is really lovely. So it's Greek yogurt with honey blended in and an incredible fruit and oat and nut muesli made by my beautiful mother-in-law. I love being able to sit down and have a meal with him and chat about his day, and it's really nice to actually spend some time together. So those are all the exciting things that we're doing. I'm just loving having all those sorts of activities to look forward to each day and each week. And I find myself not having to look for instant gratification things like takeaway foods or online shopping, because I have interesting things that I get to do now. I just wanted to also say that if you miss some of your daily or weekly activities, it's okay. It's okay if you're too busy to go for a dog walk every single day, you know, if you're going out for dinner with someone instead. But if you see a trend of missing out on those things that fill your cup up, make sure that you incorporate them back in. I know on the weekend when I miss out on doing my stretches in the morning, I definitely don't feel as good during the day. Even though we do those things more frequently, daily, weekly, and they're blocked out in the calendar for us to always make sure that we're doing. It's important to have some less frequent things as well. So things that are special to you or that you don't get to necessarily do all the time, but when the opportunity comes up, you can really take advantage of it. These things are more of a luxury, so you need to be able to fit them into your budget and make sure that you're not overstraining yourself and making yourself feel unsecure in other places just to allow yourself to do these more fun things. So for me, I really like things like spa treatments, massages, facials, that sort of thing. I like to go on trips away. I love to travel, even if it's just within my local area. I love to have picnics with Marty. We do dinner dates, that sort of thing. I really love that. I make sure to visit my friends or call them if I get time, and that's always really good for me. And I love to see shows, so any opportunity to see musicians or artists or other different shows, I really love to do that. And that's just a few things that I really enjoy doing. Like, the list goes on, and it really changes depending on the place that you're in and the environment that you're in, because obviously it's a lot less frequent that musicians come to Gladstone rather than Brisbane, but given the opportunity, I will always go to them. So I just have a list of these in my phone and in my journal that I can go to whenever I need a bigger pick-me-up. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just want to remind you that it doesn't have to cost anything and it doesn't have to be hard work. It could be as easy as playing with the dogs in the yard, going for a walk, spending some time with your significant other or your friends. It doesn't have to be hard. Having me time is not hard. You just need to block it out and prioritize yourself. One of my favorite quotes that goes with the analogy of filling up your cup is give others the best of you, not just the rest of you. And you can't do that if your cup is empty. You need to be able to fill it up so that it's overflowing, and all of that overflow goes to the other people in your life. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the things that we get to do to fill up our cups, and I would love for you to share some of your ideas in the comments below. If you want to check out my Instagram, it is at Catherine_O'Driscoll_. And I've been sharing a lot of my journey on there, so if you're interested, check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!